Tampa Bay Rays Willy Adams, 1, and Adeiny Hechavarria celebrate the team's 3-2 win over the Houston Astros on Friday in St. Petersburg, Florida. St. Petersburg, Florida. Wilmer Font and 4 relievers combined on a 3-hitter, and the Tampa Bay Rays beat Houston 3-2 on Friday night to snap the Astros' 11-game road winning streak, which tied a franchise record. Font, 2-3, allowed 1 run and 1 hit over 5+ innings before an injury forced him to leave the game. Diego Castillo, Chaz Roe, Sergi and Jose Alvarado held the Astros in check the rest of the way. Alvarado got the final out for his second save. A strained right lot caused Font's early exit. Rays improved their record to 8-6 during a stretch of 16 games against Houston, Washington and the New York Yankees. Alex Bregman homered for the Astros, who lost for just 4th time in 22 games overall. Jarrett Poole, 9-2, gave up 3 runs, 1 earned, and 5 hits in 6 innings to end his 7-game winning streak. Tampa Bay capitalized on a pair of Houston errors to get 3 runs in the 4th, snapping a 19-inning scoring drought. Adeiny Hechavarria was credited with a sacrifice fly that center fielder Jake Marisnick dropped for an error. 2 more runs scored with 2 outs when shortstop Marvin Gonzalez made an errant throw to first on Kevin Kiermaier's grounder. Bregman made it 3-2 in the 6th with his homer off Castillo, who replaced Font during the at-bat. Bregman has 7 homers and 18 RBIs in his last 14 games. Blue Jays 3, Tigers 2. Marcus Stroman pitched 7 innings to get his first win this season. Justin Smoke hit a 2-run home run and the Toronto Blue Jays beat Detroit, handing the struggling Tigers their 10th consecutive defeat. It's Detroit's longest losing streak since a 10-game skid from September 13 to 22, 2003. Stroman, 1-5, had not won since beating the New York Yankees last Sept. 24 in Toronto's final home game of the 2017 season. Making his second start after missing 39 games because of a sore shoulder, Stroman allowed 2 runs and 5 hits, lowering his ERA from 6.80 to 6.20. The right-hander struck out 4 and didn't issue a walk for the first time in 9 starts this season. Yankees 8, Red Sox 1. CC Sabathia shut down the high-scoring Red Sox. Greg Bird hit 2 home runs and Aaron Judge connected off a college teammate as the New York Yankees bopped Boston to retake the top record in the majors. Not since the famed Bucky Dent playoff game in 1978 had the Yankees and Red Sox met so late in a season when they owned the 2 best marks in baseball. Home runs decided this matchup, too, with Miguel Andujar also going deep for New York. The biggest crowd of the year at Yankee Stadium was in the spirit as lines forming outside the gates more than 3.5 hours before the start. The pro-Yankees chants began prior to the first pitch. The anti-Boston shouts soon followed. Angels 7, Orioles 1. Mike Trout celebrated his return to center field with a solo home run and an impressive catch, and the Los Angeles Angels snapped a 6-game skid by beating the floundering Baltimore Orioles. Martin Maldonado also homered for Los Angeles. Andrelton Simmons had 4 hits and Felix Peña, 1-0, allowed 5 hits over 5 1/3 shutout innings. Back in the outfield after an ineffective 9-day stretch as a designated hitter, Trout hit his 24th home run in the first inning off David Hess, 2-5, to spark the Angels to their first win in a week. The 2-time AL MVP reached base 3 times and ran down a liner in the gap to rob Danny Valencia of a potential 4th-inning double. Forced to play DH because of a sprained right index finger, Trout went 6 for 28.214, with 11 strikeouts and no homers. Before Friday's game, he said, "It was tough. I'm just happy to get back on the field." Rangers 11, White Sox 3. Shin-Soo reached base for the 41st straight game and hit 1 of 5 Texas home runs in the first 3 innings as the Rangers trounced the Chicago White Sox. Rune Doter, Robinson Chirinos and Nomar Mazara homered in a 7-run second inning. Joey Gallo and Chu went deep in the 3rd. The Rangers have won 10 of their last 12 games. The White Sox reached their season's halfway point at 28-53, one win better than the franchise's worst record through 81 games. Yovani Gallardo, 2-0, making his third start since joining Texas on June 17, retired his first 10 batters and allowed all 3 runs on 4 hits and 1 walk in 7 1/3 innings. Gallardo struck out 7. Dylan Covey, 3-3, allowed 4 homers and 9 runs, 8 earned, in 2 1/3 innings. Interleague Cubs 10, Twins 6. Addison Russell hit his second career grand slam. Jason Hayward and Ben Zobrist each had 2-run homers, and the Chicago Cubs rallied to beat the Minnesota Twins. Josh Schwarber added his 16th home run, a solo shot in 7th, and Anthony Rizzo completed Chicago's scoring with an RBI single in the 8th as the Cubs pulled away to win their third game in 4 following a 5-game losing streak. Russell's second homer in 2 days chased Twins starter Jose Berrios 8-6 with 1 out the 5th and put Chicago ahead for the first time, 6-5. The shortstop's deep fly to left was pushed by a steady southwest wind as it narrowly reached the Wrigley Field bleachers. Joe Mauer homered among 3 hits, and finished with a season-high 5 RBIs. Coming through twice with 2 outs, Mauer hit a 3-run shot in the second and lined a 2-run double off Cubs starter Mike Montgomery in the 4th. Montgomery, 3-2, lasted 5 innings and earned the win despite giving up 5 runs, 3 earned, and 7 hits with 3 walks. 3 Cubs relievers followed with a scoreless inning each before Justin Wilson allowed the Twins' final run in the 9th. National League Marlins 8, Mets 2. Sandy Alcantara allowed just 1 run over 5 innings to win his first career start as the Miami Marlins defeated the New York Mets. JT Riddle hit a 3-run homer, and Lewis Brinson, who had 3 hits, also homered in a pivotal 6-run third inning. Marlins catcher JT Realmuto returned to the lineup after missing 4 games with a hand injury. Realmuto went 1-4 with an RBI. Alcantara, 1-0, struck out 2 and gave up 5 walks and 3 hits. The 22-year-old right-hander was the top prospect acquired in the offseason trade that sent Marcell Ozuna to the street. Louis Cardinals. Alcantara made 8 relief appearances for the Cardinals last season. Brewers 8, Reds 2. Kean Broxton homered twice and drove in 4 runs, and Chase Anderson pitched 2-hit ball for 6 innings, leading the Milwaukee Brewers to a victory over the Cincinnati Reds. The Brewers won their 7th straight against the Reds, their best such streak against Cincinnati in franchise history. Milwaukee is 7-1 overall in the season series. Broxton had an RBI single, a solo homer, and a 2-run shot as the Brewers pulled away with 5 runs in the 9th inning. Broxton also dashed from third to score during a rundown play in the 8th. Ryan Braun came out of the game in the 7th inning with a stiff back, leaving the Brewers missing 2 regulars. Christian Yelich also was sidelined by a sore back. Braun missed 6 games last month with a sore back as well. Broxton and Anderson pulled them through. Nationals 17, Phillies 7. Juan Soto hit 2 of Washington's 7 home runs, finishing with 4 hits and 5 RBIs, and the Nationals routed the Philadelphia Phillies. Anthony Rendon, Trea Turner, Bryce Harper, Ryan Goodwin and Mark Reynolds also homered for the Nationals, who set a season high for homers. Washington had scored just 3 runs while losing 3 straight. Rendon added 2 doubles and 3 RBIs, and Harper also contributed 3 hits and 3 RBIs. Rhys Hoskins, Scott Kingery and Carlos Santana homered for Philadelphia. Kingery was a triple shy of the cycle. The teams combined for 28 hits, including 16 for extra bases, on a steamy night in Philadelphia with the game-time temperature 90 degrees. Eric Feta, 1-3, earned his first Major League win in his 8th career start, allowing 5 runs on 8 hits in 5 innings with 3 strikeouts and 3 walks. Friday's games: National League Washington 17, Philadelphia 7, Milwaukee 8, Cincinnati 2, Miami 8, NY Mets 2, Atlanta 5, St. Louis 1, San Francisco at Arizona, and Colorado at LA. Dodgers, N, Pittsburgh at San Diego, N, American League LA Angels 7, Baltimore 1 NY. Yankees 8, Boston 1, Toronto 3, Detroit 2, Tampa Bay 3, Houston 2, Texas 11, Chicago White Sox 3, Cleveland at Oakland, N, Kansas City at Seattle, N, Interleague Chicago Cubs 10, Minnesota 6, Rays 3, Astros